and I think the difference with the Vision Pro is, to me, the Vision Pro is most exciting. Well, number one, like I talked to O'Malley, he's very excited about being a TV. I think that makes sense. That probably is the most compelling use case for it. I have always been excited about it for the productivity sort of application, right? This idea that I can be on the road, or I can even be at my desk and I can have this huge workspace, which I love. It's my preferred way to work. And I can do it all in relatively speaking, like the size of the Vision Pro relative to the 4 monitors on my desk and speakers and all this sort of thing is tiny, right? And this idea I can carry that experience with me everywhere is incredible. But that requires developer support. Like the, I need all the apps that I need. Am I going to get those apps? Am I going to have the capabilities that I want in this sort of constricted
environment? This is the iPad on steroids. Yeah. Right now, the question with the Vision Pro is, what's the killer app? And it doesn't seem like Apple has an answer. And it would be really interesting to see whether developers can come up with something that nobody can imagine right now. But in order to do that, you need to incentivize people to invest the time and resources to work on that platform. And right now, this is the other half of the news is, I'll read from Bloomberg. The success of Apple's Vision Pro, like many new technology platforms, will largely depend on support from third-party apps and services. And that's an area where the device still faces plenty of questions. Some big-name developers thus far aren't doing much to help the device. 3 of the world's most popular streaming services, Netflix, YouTube, and Spotify, have already signaled that they won't be launching Vision OS software or enabling their iPad apps to run on the Vision Pro. Other key developers, including iOS and iPad OS mainstays like Google and Meta, also appear ready to shun the new platform at the outset. That's a break from the past. So that's 2 different things. Number one, it looks like 5 of the biggest technology companies in the world are not developing their own new Vision Pro apps, at least at the outset here. And then also, am I reading that right? They're not allowing their iPad app to be used for the Vision Pro. And so there's just not really going to be a Netflix app or a YouTube app or a Google or Meta app on the Vision Pro as they launch.
No, that's the real tell here, right? Like you could have a short-term solution. Like maybe there's an argument, like, is it worth spinning up a whole team to support a platform that's going to be maybe like a few hundred users?
Yeah, like 500,000 people.
At best, like that's sort of the goal. But like Apple anticipating this is like, well, just click a box, like literally just click a check mark, and we will make your iPad app work in this space. And there's no question an iPad app, like, is it going to be an ideal? No, of course not. You're going to want to build a native app for the experience, but particularly something like Netflix, at the end of the day, I just want to get to a show and watch it. And the vast majority of the experience is a large screen that takes up all my vision, and it's sort of amazing. Or you have like a use case that Apple is pushing in their marketing is like being on an airplane, right? And believe me, this is going to be unbelievable on an airplane, right? You can be in the crappiest seat in economy, and you can basically be at the greatest movie theater in the world. It just totally immerse everything outside of you. It's going to be incredible. And what you're not going to be able to watch is Netflix unless you have like one of, a super modern airplane that has like a fast enough connection that lets you do streaming apps. Because if you want to watch Netflix, you have to go to Safari, type in on like this floating in space keyboard.
I can't believe this is how it's going to work.
Netflix.com and go and watch it, which, on the web, you can't download shows. You can't click the button to sort of have it sort of on the device. And it's just the great irony of having to go to the browser is that's what Apple makes Netflix do now, right? If it's just like the user has to know,
subscribe.
go, but they can't tell you that. They just say, if you're a Netflix user, you can sign in. How do you become a Netflix user? Who knows, right? Like, no, you have to know. Go to Safari, type in Netflix.com, subscribe, and then you can come back and sign in. Well, guess what? That's what you're going to have to do in the Vision Pro to consume Netflix content, even if you know what it is, to consume YouTube content. And the fact that they can't be bothered.
It's so unbelievably anti-competitive, and it's just obnoxious, really. I don't know exactly. I don't know whether it's classically anti-competitive, but to tell Netflix you can't direct people to subscribe on Netflix.com is just unbelievably shameless on Apple's part. And so, yeah, on some level, it's satisfying to watch all these companies say,
yeah, my alternative title for this article is Developers on Strike, which is like, the reality is no one can afford to not be on the iPhone App Store. It's the largest market in the world. If you want to reach consumers, you have to be there. And which is, by the way, is like Apple's argument for why they deserve payment, which we can get into the specifics of that or what would be an alternative way to legislate that. But they don't need to be on the Vision Pro. And there's no revenue they're foregoing. And the only entity that is really suffering is maybe a couple 100,000 of their users, which, by the way, are like, it's not like they're going to cancel Netflix because they can't get the Vision Pro. And Apple. Apple has a crappier platform because of this case. And I honestly, as someone who is very excited about the Vision Pro and wants all these experiences on there, I see this as a bummer. As an analyst, and as someone that does find Apple's behavior in this case problematic, it's like, who's going to be the strike leader here? Hold the line. Who's going to
I feel
who's
so
going to attack
bad
people who break the picket?
Because really, first of all, I'm excited for the Vision Pro in large part because of how excited you were when you tried the Vision Pro. There have been two moments throughout our time podcasting together where you were really floating on the other side of the line. One was Sydney the chatbot. Two was after your day with the Vision Pro at WWDC and coming back and just being like, oh my God, it's even better than you could imagine. And so to have the excitement tempered a little bit with these apps going on strike, and then also this has been your cause for a decade now. So it's really bittersweet on both fronts, I guess. I don't anticipate this actually harming Apple's bottom line long term with the Vision Pro, because I think if the Vision Pro starts to succeed, some of these apps will come around. But for right now, it's kind of entertaining as sort of a low stakes opportunity for these companies to stick it to Apple. And I'm not sure that there's that much that Apple can do. Is there?
No, I mean, I assume Apple is just going to wait it out and assume they'll come around. That's sort of their modus operandi. I mean,